Tracey. This is a very special episode because we have with us
Amariee
and
Mikkoh.
So Mikkoh's usually behind the scenes, but today she's joining us and she will share a little bit into her journey into the self-care world.
Thanks for
We're keeping it really casual today.
Yeah. So we want to start with, I don't know, like, do you guys remember a specific time in your life when you made like a concrete decision that it's time, I gotta start taking care of myself?
Yeah.
For sure. I think it was kind of gradual at first when we first started doing season 1 of Missed Appointment. This realization of like, oh my God, I don't really know my body and I need to take care of myself a little bit better. You know, it's called self-care, but it's not just selfish. It's not only for you, but also for the people who are my family and people who love me and want to see me thrive, and seeing them I just remember all the time hearing like, man, are you sick? Because I'd always be sniffling, like I'd always be coughing.
And those are like the simple signs, you know, that your body's trying to tell you something before it gets worse.
And I heard it too much. I just kept hearing that all year. And then just my mom being like, seeing her heartbroken and like being upset that I was not healthy. And that was a really big turning point for me.
I realized that like I had no energy and I was crashing hard.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't stay awake for more than 2 to 4 hours without having to take a nap. It was really bad. And then I couldn't sleep. I could only sleep for 2 hours. I was waking up every 2 hours. I was emotionally distraught, really moody, and like just boom, 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 boom. No like baseline.
Yeah.
And no baseline on anything.
Yeah.
So that made me start looking into that, and I discovered adrenal issues where I self-diagnosed myself into that category, treated it with herbal remedies and lifestyle changes, making sure I was eating a certain amount and different types of food. And then I got better with the herbs, and I've sought out better herbs, and I got better with those. And only within this year, I've found out like I don't think that that's an issue that I really have anymore. Mm-hmm. But if I hadn't taken action for that, I would just be like, I guess I just only can stay up for 4 hours, guys. And
I guess this is me.
Yeah. And not realizing that was off.
Yeah.
And just being aware of it, because I think so many people have like chronic fatigue or always tired, and it's just like
become common. Like it's like natural now. Like to them, that's like
that's baseline.
That's it.
Yeah.
This is my health.
Yeah. I think you kind of have to take a moment and not accept that that's
right.
What
like
your baseline is supposed to be, you know.
Yeah. Into this like health and wellness journey, have you guys explored any complementary or alternative options into how to take care of yourself, especially when you get into like serious body ailments?
Yeah.
Anything from like herbs, botanical supports, acupuncture that I'm still wanting to try.
I've done all the above. I love it if it's healthy. But
natural.
I mean, a conversation with my sister, and she's like, oh, well, just go to the doctor. And I'm like, I can't just go to the doctor, Jillian. I don't have health insurance, okay? And I can't afford to get sick.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have the luxury of being sick. So it's like, I have to take care of myself. I have to do good. I have to try out the herbs, do the research, and be present in my body to avoid sickness. And that's my compliment on it, is not get sick because I don't have insurance.
Right, yeah.
It's too real. I was lucky enough to have my mom with me because so she's a missionary and she's not here in America most of the time. But I was at the peak of my sickness, I guess, where it almost got to the pivotal point where I had to realize I was sick. My mom just happened to be here, and she studied traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, all that. And she grew up in a time where diet was most of the part that played into like health. And so I actually started taking like just natural supplements such as balloon flower root pills, which are these little pellets, and you get them you can get them in like the herbs section at the Korean market, which I never knew even existed until my mom got those for me. But yeah, that actually helps with my asthma. It's more of a vitamin. And so like me and DJ talking about, natural supplements and stuff, and I told her that I anxious sometimes. She's like, oh, you might be magnesium deficient. She actually got me a magnesium supplement for Christmas or my birthday or one of those. That's so crazy. That's like the type of friends that you need to have around you that will get you vitamins and like herbal books for your birthday and stuff. But I actually ended up take magnesium L-threonate on a regular basis, and it's really helped with my mental clarity. Just me like having energy to get through my day, it's a huge thing. Chronic stress is like just fatiguing everybody.
What I always call is like just trying to have like a baseline. Like I was so tired of such high highs and such low lows. I just wanted to merge them here. And I know that, sometimes they'll go beyond that, and then we'll move because life moves. But I wanted to have somewhere to come in the middle.
Yeah, and that's what adaptogens do for you as well. And like Daisy and I always talk about this, but I love making like superfood lattes. Oh yeah. And like, I'll slowly bring these things into my diet because I don't know much about it, but like I'll find out about these natural ways and supplements through friends, like, your circle. And like I find out like chaga is like good for varicose veins, which was like what I had surgery on earlier this year. Yeah, I didn't know that either, and I found that out.
It's called chaga
for your immune system. Chaga mushroom. Yeah, which I'll make, like a mocha chocolate. Like I'll put like cacao into I'll make a mocha latte, but then I'll put a bit of chaga in there, and so you're naturally just slowly injecting little ways to incorporate that into your diet, into your lifestyle. Yeah.
And reishi is really good for your heart also. I just found out that it is like there's hardly anything that lowers diastolic blood pressure. Very few natural. I don't know actually. There's very few natural supplements, and I found out at this learning experience I was at this weekend for herbs that reishi lowers diastolic blood pressure. And diet's so big that like some of the instructors that I was in a presentation were talking about how they will get rid of clients and will not accept them if they're not willing to work on their diet.
You have to have a commitment.
You have to be willing to change it. Half of people's issues is what goes in their face hole. Like I think about the fact that our bodies are perfect. We cut ourselves, we heal. We break bones, we heal. We get sad, we heal. But when you keep putting things that are so bad for your body and not allowing it to heal itself, you're putting yourself at such a lower deficit. Like we are supposed to be good human whole beings, and then we're having these artificial sugar things, these fake flavors, these preservatives that are just lowering our body's ability to do what it's naturally supposed to do.
Right. Yeah. And I think that also just ties into how self-care is more about an abundance, eating and giving your body the things that it's good for, that's good for it, rather than like, that's why I feel like diets and stuff don't work, because you're just trying to restrict yourself from not eating things. But when in actuality, a good diet and a good self-care routine is just giving your body more of what it needs. So more spinach, more avocado, more walnuts, like nuts and natural foods, no labels,
Yeah. No boxes, no cans.
No cans. As possible.
There's a commercial out that I see all the time that is it's eczema.
Oh my gosh, that's so common. Oh my gosh, really?
It's a pill for eczema, and it's for kids. And the commercial is these two kids sitting there, and it's like, eczema, of course. And then they're sitting there like, you can take this pill and it'll go away. And they're eating these giant ice cream cones.
Oh, they didn't.
And it's like dairy is like a cause of the eczema.
Yeah.
And if you have it, that's like one of the first things you cut out of your body and then see how it reacts from there.
Right.
But these kids is just like, oh, you have eczema? You can still eat ice cream if you eat this pill.
Yeah.
And now the pharmaceutical company.
There's an increase of like kids having allergies, eczema, asthma nowadays. And a lot of people are saying it's because like, you know, during development, they're also already like chronically exposed to like inflammation because their mom is like not eating the right diet or not being provided the right nutrients, and because of that their immunity is weakened inside the womb, so they come out more likely to be you know allergic to things. So Amariee, you were just at a conference a few days ago, and it was the American Herbalist Guild, I believe.
The American Herbalist Guild, their annual symposium. First time it's been in Georgia in 17 years. It was really cool. Yeah.
What kind of things did you learn from there?
Oh boy.
I know.
I took about 20 hours of classes. But it was nice. I learned about the taste of food, of herbs, and that the taste alone for one can help you identify what the herb that you might be eating might be good for in your body. So for example, sweet things that taste naturally sweet to us, and these are real sweetness, not like, of course, like
artificial.
Yeah, and from their origin of sweetness. So like a wild blueberry is sweet. Conventional blueberries, not so much. But mulberry, astragalus, those sweeter energy of the food stimulates your immune system to work. Bitter herbs like, actually coffee's in that realm. Neem, myrrh. Yeah, there are subcategories in this bitter. But it, you know, it works for, bitter flavors work for your liver.
It's like the bitter, the better for your liver.
Yeah.
I think that was like
bitter, the better.
For you. And also the greener, the better also when it comes to like vegetables. But
yeah, those colors.
It's a little phrase for anyone who wants reminders. So
people need them.
Noted.
Learned about phlegm. Phlegm was good, and kind of the sources of phlegm and herbal remedies. Spent a lot of time talking about the herbs to kind of combat that.
What kind of herbs?
I'm gonna tell you a lot of those. Individual herbs, and most of the time with formulation, you do, the rule in herbal formulation is 1 + 1 = 3. So synergy is a big deal with it. So finding proper formulation is important. But of course, there is a lot of personalization around and available based off of if you are a cold, dry person, if you have moving pains, that's wind. And so the formulas can be much more personalized to get better results.
And that's in like TCM.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like Ayurvedic doshas?
I got some notes down there somewhere too from the class. Anyway, yeah, one's hot, cold. One's cold, dry. One is damp, hot, and then the other's like cold, damp.
And what is that referring to? Like,
that is part of your body type and your body makeup. So a lot of Vata is kind of thinner, usually colder, craves heat. As far as emotions, it can be a lot of anxieties within this group. And then Vata has more, or Kapha has a lot more depression tendency. It does go with how you act and react in the world in a sense.
Like, I guess take in and expel different energies as well. And
also physically, like physically dry. Like, yeah, you can be like physically dry skin.
Yeah, I think I remember taking like a quiz online about that, and then it gave me like one of the doses, and it was like, and it was describing it, and it was, you know, kind of like astrological and zodiac signs when you take a quiz or whatnot, where I read it and I'm just like, wow, that is me. Like I get cold when I'm like a lot quicker than usual, and my skin is dry sometimes. I'm more reactive to things. And then it gives you like these certain spices and herbs that you can take to like
a lot of bitters and
warming. Yeah,
that's so accurate on it. And like Some of the others are gonna react slower and just tend to like sit still, tend to be heavier, tend to be warm. Some people have a lot of edema where they keep the water in them.
Yeah.
And those are real things. Those are real characteristics. And
so that's the world of Ayurveda.
Yeah.
That's their kind of principle. And then traditional medicine, they're on the premise of that the body has like these meridians or like channels of networks of energy. And if you tap into those, they're close by like certain organs or vessels that may play a role in regulating something in the system, right? And so if you tap into those meridians, you can restore balance again in your health.
Is that kind of like for example, with a liver qi stagnation?
Right, yeah.
One I've heard a lot that I have. I need to express myself some more. Because it is a stagnation. You got to get that blood moving.
Right.
And that's also, to kind of look at them both, Ayurvedic, that's like you're colder. Like, I mean, your blood's not moving as much. So yeah, it overlaps so much, and I love it.
So it's really interesting because you studied like this whole Eastern medicine type of arena and that kind of school of thought, whereas Daisy actually went to med school and studied the whole Western medicine thing. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on Eastern versus Western?
I think there needs to be a balance, honestly. The Western medicine tends to, I mean, I love that it's science-based. I love that it's data-driven. Mainly also these studies are done in a lab, like in a super sterile room, and it's not taking in consideration these other factors that may affect your health.
Yeah.
So if we were to just stay into the whole Western medicine idea, I don't think our health will be, completely optimized to its best.
I think
it's a very reactive system too. Yeah.
And very one size fits all.
Right. Yeah.
One thing a lot of presenters were saying, and herbalists at the guild, is that it's so much that Western medicine is, and these are people that have gone to doctors to do trainings for them, and they just are having a really hard time listening to what they're saying because they look at the whole body. And there's people in there like, excuse me, I do renal.
Yeah.
So what is the one molecule that you can isolate for my class? And that's one thing with Western medicine, it isn't validated until it changes like one molecule.
Right, yeah.
And that's a big thing that kept going on. And it's kind of like, I had a strong visual every time having this conversation with people. And it's like, I imagine our bodies, when I walk into like any kind of Eastern acupuncture type building, there's images on the wall of the pressure points, and it's one body. It's a whole body, and they're connected by all these little lines. And then Western medicine makes me feel like if my body was just floating in the air with all the organs in different places.
Right.
Nothing feels connected, and it's not, because you have to go to a different doctor for every single different thing.
Yeah.
And there's no wholeness, and I think that it pulls the body apart, literally, and not looking at everything together and just having any sort of respect for the other systems and how they
interconnected with the rest.
So that's a hard thing for me to deal with.
I will say though that Western medicine is good at like emergency or acute situations. I think the healthcare system is great with that. Like, obviously if someone is having a heart attack, you don't just give them a bunch of kale and like leave them be. You have to like restore them so that they don't pass away. So, but when it comes to preventative medicine, which is looking into your body as a whole and taking preventative measures so that you don't suffer from these chronic illnesses, I think we can learn a lot from Eastern medicine world.
Yeah. And I think it's a hard thing to certain like perceptions, like for example of me, people say like, "Oh, you don't believe in Western medicine." It's like, I just don't. I'm like, I don't go to the doctors. I don't have insurance. It's nothing to do with me believing or not. Okay, I would love to go get a diagnostic. I love that Western is super great diagnostic, super great at surgery, and I frankly don't want to get surgery at the acupuncture place. Like,
so conclusion. Okay, so self-care. A big part of it is really taking your own like personal responsibility to take care of yourself. Get curious about the things that you're feeling, ask questions. You can reach out to a health professional, you can Google stuff online, you can go to the library, just get resourceful. And then
you can join discussion boards.
Yes,
The missed appointments.
Because you can learn a lot from
about
people.
Sharing that.
Right, yes. Yeah. And we can all learn from each other.
Yeah. Care about yourself. I think people are so afraid to like, almost afraid to like know themselves. Yeah. And
they ignore it until it gets worse.
Yeah. Take care of yourself, guys. Quit like not doing that. Quit like eating McDonald's every day and wondering why all of your cholesterol is through the roof.
Dude, I used to eat McDonald's like every week.
Really? Oh man. She's changed though.
I've changed so much. I've changed so much. Yeah, so thank you for joining us for this special bonus episode with Amariee. If you have any questions about herbs or anything else, any ailments that you have, you can definitely ask us questions down below. Thanks for having me. I'm not usually on these. I'm usually on the other side of the camera.
Thank you guys for watching our bonus episode, and check out the rest of our episodes from season 2 on www.themissedappointment.com. Bye guys.
Thanks for having my strange self on here. I appreciate it. And having a place to talk about this stuff. You guys are so amazing for doing this.
Yay. Thank you guys for watching, and so I'll do that again. Okay.